starting to wrap things up here. I think there are a couple of other folks who had a few extra words to say, and I think we'll move around the room this way, and we'll start with this table, and anybody who cares to speak, we'll just go around the room, starting with this table right here.
I didn't get a chance to say anything on video. I guess my partners are trying to tell me something about my social skills.
I couldn't find you.
So I'll take a hint and keep it short and just say, yeah, I'm real proud of both you guys. You guys did a great job. If you ever need help, please call us. Hopefully you won't need our help. Hopefully we've done our job and you guys are going to be fine. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Wasn't the same
vote. Oh, well, it was
sorry.
this table.
No. Look, are you sure? Let's go first. No, I'm fine. Well, I didn't get a chance. I'd just like to say that I've been to 52 of these occasions. And not only the applicants or the people who've completed their training have been outstanding, truly outstanding. But this has been the best one because of you, Tom. You did a masterful job, and I think everybody appreciates your efforts. It's just terrific.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rasha Jandra. I am a graduate from the University of Louisville Neurosurgery residency program, and Clay asked me to come here today as his former chief and say a few words. So Clay and Josh Billingsley had such a presence that they got their own characters in our house. Oh, no. I'm going to share something with you. So what this is a fire truck that we bought for Alec, and there were two characters on this. One was a pasty white fireman who used to sit up front, and when you press this, it makes a noise that does not stop. So I thought that was pretty appropriate. And this one. So this one, Josh, was called Fireman Bigglesworth, after the cat in Austin Powers. And this one was Captain Cockadoodles. And so Captain Cockadoodles every once in a while would drop by our house, and so I wanted to bring this with me because Leanne has saved this for all this time and wanted to give this to Mason. So you'll get this. I'll keep it very short. And the next thing is that so his coming into residency was my fault, and then at some point, Clay, as a junior resident, called from the pediatric emergency room to the attending on call, which was the chairman. And chairman had the knack of picking up the phone after the first ring. And at 2 in the morning. At 2 in the morning, like there was nothing wrong. And Clay told him about an open depressed skull fracture, how appropriate for today. And the chairman said, well, why don't you just close it up and send the patient upstairs. So the next morning, the pediatric neurosurgeon, who we both admired, came and absolutely blew his aneurysm why a open depressed skull fracture wasn't taken to the operating room in the middle of the night. So Clay said, well, I called Dr. Shields, and Dr. Shields said so. So when Dr. Shields obviously denied it. No, he never told me that it was open and blah, blah, blah. So here's Clay versus chairman. Guess who won? So, and that's when he said that he called me as chief, and he said, did you know Clay had a brain injury? And I said, no. And he said, oh, yeah. Didn't you know that when he had needed privileges for the MRI, intraoperative MRI, he needed x-rays taken of his face because he got facial plates and everything? I said, no, I did not know that. I'm sorry, I did not run the list about those things with him. And he said, no, he's got brain injury, and you can clearly tell because because of his brain injury, he could not diagnose this problem at night. I think we should fire him. And this mouse got an enormous tail because every single time Clay would do something, he would say, you see? He would tell me, see, he doesn't have frontal lobes. And I would say, Dr. Shields, he does have frontal lobes. And I lied, okay? So Clay would repeatedly, still the point that actually came that he was so convinced that Clay had to be fired because he had no memory of brain injury, that he was not safe, and he wanted to fire Clay. And he called me and I said, I'm going to fire him. I said, and I actually had put my foot down. I said, no, he has to stay because legally you have no foot to stand on. There is no neuropsychological test, only based upon one open depressed skull fracture, you're going to fire him. So there was my second mistake. I kept him. And then I graduated I don't know how, but I graduated, and then he told me that he was going to Wake Forest. I said, well, that's great. I never even got an interview granted over there. And I said, that's wonderful. I said, that's great for you. And I heard that his partner, his year mate, Josh Bigglesworth, was also interviewed here. And I bumped into John Wilson at the Jackson Hole meeting. That was my first meeting with John Wilson. And little did I know. And I said, there's a guy by the name of Clay Cochran who's going to come and interview. And John said, yeah, our interaction with his partner was really not that favorable, but tell me about him. So I told all positive things about him. And I think that was my mistake number 3. And that positively influenced him. So then I graduated, and I followed Clay here. I really feel like I'm losing a part of me because I really feel that we have a history together as brothers, and now I got to find a job in Norman. So it's too windy there, man. So I wanted to personally thank you for everything that you have done. You made my transition here actually very, very easy and helped me along, and I owe a lot to you. Last but not least, I'd like to remind you of what you told me when I graduated. Do you remember what your last words were?
No. Terrifying.
I know. Your last words were the most memorable words of that evening. You stood up and you said, Rashid, to me, you will always be my chief. And so Clay, to me, you will always be my chief. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne.
Well, real broad, like Dan, I guess we, at the end of the hall, didn't want us on the video. But both of you, I love that your parents are here, because what a great accomplishment. I mean, with kids of my own, if I ever am in this opportunity, I'll just, I mean, your sons are wonderful people. Kwame, your honesty and your integrity is above everyone. I really appreciate that about you. And Clay, what I wrote you the other night,
I appreciate it.
so congratulations to you both. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. So I'll start with Kwame. I've known Kwame longer. The story tonight of Clay and Kwame can also be told in a different way. It's a story of another individual who made all of this possible. And when Jonathan and I first started, I felt like being thrown into a war zone a little bit, as an intern, and sometimes the enemy of I'm talking about. I think Kwame and I, and Jonathan and Kwame, we all became friends over the years, but especially because of interactions with other individuals. But over time, I've come to realize that Kwame is one of the most wise people I know, and I think that we've talked quite a bit about being inspired by people for certain values, and so I think I'll echo that and say that I'm inspired by how wise Kwame is, and I never understood him when I was more junior in my training, but I think I understand who Kwame is now. And I like him and respect him a lot. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I live with you now. you really learn a lot about somebody when you live with them, and all the things that I thought about Clay are all true. And I was like, I wonder. Yeah. And so, I'll keep my mouth shut.
And back and
TMI.
But Clay's a great roommate, and he's been a great friend, and he's a great surgeon, and he has. I admire him for his ability to pick up something new quickly and work with his hands and succeed much quicker than most people I know. And that's what I admire him for, and I'm going to miss him.
We miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
A lot of ways.
So congratulations. Well,
Oh.
It's always hard to follow Raj, but you know, Clay and Kwame, in their own ways, have really just been very similar yet completely different inspirations to all of us. And Kwame, I'll tell you, we've had some of the worst luck when we're on call together that you can imagine. But the thing I love about Kwame is, you know, everyone's talked about his faith and how it supports him and keeps him strong. But more than that, what I admire about him is that he takes that and he's able to spread that in the times when things are the most frantic, when we have 3 emergent cases at 3 in the morning. And he's able to use that calm that he gets and spread it to everybody else on the team to make things run smoothly in the times of greatest duress. And you know, you've done that multiple times over this year, and it's a skill and a trait that you have as a result of that, and that's something that I think we all admire. And on top of that, I don't know anybody that's able to make me smile and raise all of our spirits. And I'm gonna miss having somebody to talk soccer about. And Clay, I don't know if I should be thanking you or blaming you right now. But as you probably heard on the video, Clay is probably the single person that is responsible for the fact that Flora and I are now getting married. And part of what drove all that was, in classic Clay style, he took both of us aside individually and said, well, do you like him? Do you like him? What are you guys doing? Stop messing around. And you can always count on Clay to just, how do I put this tactful?
Word it out.
Just say things. You know, and it's very refreshing. Because you never have to worry that Clay is trying to sugarcoat things, because when he's trying to sugarcoat things, he usually stumbles over it and ends up telling you the blatant truth. And you know, that's your greatest skill. That and your unflagging work ethic, and your just commitment to sacrificing yourself over everyone else, and leading by that self-sacrificing example. And I mean, for a multitude of reasons, you know, I can't thank either of you guys enough. But you know, if we younger folks can grow and learn in your image and some of the things that you've imparted upon us through the years, then that's probably the best tribute that we can give you. So
Thank you.
we'll try, but it's a high bar.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
man.